CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
The Van Dongen defection eclipsed the earlier brouhaha at the legislature today. The opposition leader, the one whom polls suggest could be our next premier, was caught riding the SkyTrain system in Vancouver without carrying a valid ticket. Opposition leader ADRIAN was let off with a warning when it happened earlier this month when he failed to produce a ticket at a fare check at the Granville station. The fare evasion fine is usually a ticket of $173. Dix says he purchased a ticket but must have somehow lost it during the ride.
It was, entirely my fault. I've ridden transit, thousands of times. I've been probably checked over the last 10 years. I've been riding it hundreds of times, and I was found without a ticket, and that's the way it goes. I'm completely responsible for that. The rules are clear. It's not whether you buy it; it's whether you have the ticket when asked. You have to have the ticket when asked. I didn't, and so they wrote me a ticket, and then they made it a warning. I think what they did was they checked to see if I'd ever had a ticket before.
The operators of the Metro Vancouver transit system say that fare evasion costs it more than $7 million every year. A SAANICH man's garage is history tonight after it was gutted by fire, but thanks to some quick action, he was able to save a piece of history that was inside. The homeowner was in the process of restoring a classic car inside the garage unit. He says he didn't want to lose his ride or the project that was such a labor of love, so he beat back the flames and pushed the car out. The fire broke out just after 5 this morning in the 100 block of Heartland Avenue. 17 firefighters responded to the scene when they got there. The first bay of the garage was completely engulfed.
I phoned 911 first, actually 4 times. Ran out to the garage because I was concerned about one of my projects in there. We got the project car out of the garage. It's in the other garage right now. And a few of the tools and whatnot there. We got out, and then just after we got out, the fire started burning more of the trusses, and the trusses started collapsing down.
The structure itself is a complete loss, and some of the equipment will be salvageable. Early estimates will put the fire at about $200,000 in damage.
SAANICH firefighters say the flames broke out near some electrical heaters. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, though nobody was hurt. No dollar figure on the damage just yet. The president of Royal Roads University got his report card today, and he's passed with flying colors. In fact, he's been appointed to a second term at RRU. The Board of Governors approved Dr. Alan Cahoon once again as the president and vice chancellor of Royal Roads University. The board says it was and is impressed with Cahoon's passion and commitment to the faculty. He says the university plans to grow its student population to about 4,000 students at Royal Roads over the next 5 years. Well, the new plastic $50 bills hit the streets today. The polymer banknote will soon be coming to you as the Bank of Canada circulates the bills through ATMs for the first time. The $50 banknote was introduced at an event at the Canadian Coast Guard station on Dallas Road this morning as part of Canada's currency overhaul. The bill will be red just like the old one and will have former Prime Minister Mackenzie King on the front. The bill will also include a Canadian Coast Guard icebreaker on the front. The new Polymer 50 is high-tech with state-of-the-art holographic features which will make it even more difficult to counterfeit.
The new notes will be put into circulation, replacing the old notes. So we're asking cash handlers to make sure you can see through the note. And then secondly, we're asking you to look at the holographic stripe that's embedded right in that transparent window. You see the image, same as on the portrait on the banknote, and the building. And as you tilt it, you'll see the vibrant colors as you shift the note. And very importantly, if you flip the note over in the back, you'll see the transparent window. You can still see through it with the holographic image and holographic building on the back.
The new 50s are available at any financial institutions across the country as of today. The new polymer $20 bill will be issued next, later this year. Then the new $5 and $10 bills will be in circulation by the end of next year. Well, Canadians, you might say, seem to be getting a little more civilized. A new report says more people than ever are ditching their pints of brew for a nice glass of wine instead. StatsCan says beer still is the #1 selling alcohol in this country, but imported wine is closing in. On average, Canadians drink 80 litres. That's about 240 regular-sized bottles of beer each year. That's down, though, more than 5 litres from a decade ago. Craft brewers on Vancouver Island, however, say that Victoria is not the norm. The capital has more craft breweries and brew pubs per capita than anywhere else in Canada.
Total beer sales have declined, However, where craft breweries have increased by quite a bit, and so has imported beer. So the dollar value of a person spending money on beer has actually increased over that time. So they're willing to spend a little bit more on flavor, taste, quality, be a little bit more experimental with what they're buying.
Local brewers say the key to success is to experiment with different flavors and think outside the box. Canadians bought more than $9 billion worth of beer last year. Wine sales, by the way, have hit $6 billion across the country. Most of that is red wine. RCMP and Nanaimo have a warning out tonight that somebody in the city is passing fake $20 bills. RCMP said the counterfeits first showed up last week. They don't know where they're coming from or who's passing them. They are asking all Nanaimo merchants to double-check their 20s, something most businesses do only with 50s and $100 bills. A Cowichan Valley man arrested after a standoff with police has now been released from custody. RCMP surrounded a home in the 5,000 block of the Trans-Canada Highway near Duncan just before 6 o'clock yesterday morning. A man inside was distraught and thought to have had a gun. 9 other people were able to get to safety out of the home, and then police began the process of trying to get the man out safely as well.
The Island District Emergency Response Team was activated and attended the scene through negotiations as well as various police tactics. They were able to have the man exit the residence unarmed, and it was able to be resolved peacefully.
RCMP say after holding the man in custody for a period of time, they have determined that he is not a risk to the public, and they have released him. Officers did find a gun in the home, and the man is now under investigation for various firearms offenses, including unsafe storage. Nobody was hurt in the incident. A founding member of the Nanaimo Clippers organization has died. Bill Bestwick Sr. was 95. Bestwick died on Tuesday, although he had been diagnosed with leukemia just a few weeks before. His death is thought to be from old age. He was responsible for bringing the Clippers organization to Nanaimo in 1972. But he was a logger by trade and was involved in building some of the province's biggest dams. His son says he was always happiest at Frank Crane Arena watching the Clippers win.
Dad was a very unassuming guy. He wasn't front and center, didn't look for a lot of accolade, so to speak. I think he was a pretty generous guy during his healthy years and his most ambitious years when he was working, and cared a lot about the community. And good old boy, good old logger boy, and worked hard, played hard, and lived hard, and lived a very blessed life.
Bestwick leaves behind 5 children, including Bill Jr., 10 grandchildren, and many more great-grandchildren. There will be no public funeral at his request. Young people in CEDAR will soon have a new place to spin their wheels. A skateboard and bike park is being built for the community. The CEDAR Skate Park Association has been working a long time towards this, developing the park for nearly a decade. The province just agreed to donate more than $400,000 for the project, so after years of planning and fundraising, it can finally go ahead.
Well, if you drive through CEDAR at any time, you'll see either kids on the bikes, on the roads, in the downtown at the 49th. They're, skating where they shouldn't be, they're biking where they shouldn't be, and they really have no place to hang out, no place to be their own, and it's just important that the youth has some place to go. We have some organized sports in town, but not any place that isn't, that you can just go on your own and do whatever you want, so it's needed.
The money has been granted to the Regional District of Nanaimo, which will now take over the process. The skate park will be built on vacant property owned by the Nanaimo Ladysmith School District on Walsh Street behind CEDAR Secondary School.